change information. Absolutely, the principles are absolutely the same. The reason we stick with or have been doing sports hobbies is because often my students are in that age group. I think yes, I think absolutely, yes. He asked, do I think, I might as well go down for a lion as well as a lamb, right? He said, do you think that this will be a predominant, yes, I think that user innovation will supplant manufacturer innovation in many areas. Manufacturers will do things like own platforms if they can, but basically the innovations themselves will largely be done by distributed users.
What prevents a company from taking a collaborative design and patenting it?
Well, it's openly revealed, okay? So what happens is that users reveal the skateboard or a new spinal thing. Manufacturers can then decide, well, what we will do is be exceedingly clever and we will patent the next thing on top of it. But the thing is that what happens is you have so many users innovating, filling in the space, that the likelihood that the manufacturer's solution will be the best one is low. So it's almost like trying to block a river, you know, by throwing in one rock, it just flows right around you. That's interesting. Yes?
Theoretically, this idea is very effective because if you have teamwork as opposed to just an individual trying to innovate.
Yes?
But there is a problem, it's in human nature. People are protective of their ideas, they don't take credit for it. And a lot of people might have clever ideas, but they don't want to share it because they think they can get something out of it. How can you deal with that?
It is so marvelous. No. So the IP is also going away. Aren't you happy to see this? I mean, I just make these modest pronouncements, right? The point is that in areas where you can, by and large, many people know the same thing, or similar things. So for example, suppose you make an improved mountain bike, or an improved whatever, okay? You say, I'm going to patent this, nobody will, they have to buy it from me. Well, there are so many people innovating outside that the choice then becomes of these people, well, do I adopt his and pay him, or do I get another one for free? So nobody is preventing you from patenting. The point is you are competing with people who will freely reveal. So the fascinating thing is that each company says, you know, I've got this secret and I want to keep it, or this area of secrecy, and the rest is okay. The trouble is that other companies don't regard that particular item as top on their list. And so you are subject, your secret, your ability to protect is basically hostage to the person that has the least to lose, that knows something similar. It's so cool. It's really driving in that direction. So Madonna can keep her songs copyrighted and prevent mashups. But if people want to do mashups, what they will do is use other people's songs. Right? Yeah.
Where do the lead users fit in the customization?
Basically, lead users, what you want to do in mass customization is you get a double win if basically you're a producer, let's say, of mass customization products. If you can get your lead users to innovate and diffuse their innovations to others. So basically, lead users, these communities that I'm talking about that do the best innovations, they are lead user communities. And the cool thing is that if you can attract them to your site, then you can in effect publish their innovations to others. And if you look in my totally free downloadable book, you will see a company called Stata Corporation that does exactly that. And you can look at that as one. Yeah?
So I guess with together with IP going away, also liability goes away.
Well, liability I'm talking with the guys at the Berkman Center about this, because liability law is so vague in the US. It's like things like could reasonably have foreseen and things like that. So there are fights on that area to come, but the law is not, what we tend to cite to each other is the egregious examples. And the law is not necessarily going to be... The people in the corporations, the lawyers in the corporations, are for protecting things and preventing you from harm. So by and large, they will say, you have to patent everything, you can't not. They will say, you know, if you do anything, you will get sued. But what we're trying to do, there's an interesting website called Chilling Effect. What we're trying to do is actually figure out what the real risks are and put them forward to try to address that fear. So I'm not a lawyer expert, but last question, he says, last question. Yes, please.
Because this picture we talk about Francisco, this standard, this rule that put together the innovators, is it knowledge can be qualified, can be transferred, for instance, from a community of innovator users to another community of innovators?
There's some general principles. Like, you know, when you study things like open source and some other communities, like the kite surfing communities and so on, you can see that their tools have some general principles to them, like modularity. But the specifics, you know, are always specific to the particular area. But the general principles, yes, are transferable. Or the specific toolkit is transferable to other communities like that. Yeah. You have to codify them. Well, if you're in the community, it's like you and I operate without codifying everything. If you're in the community, but if you want to transfer it, then you have additional issues, and maybe you would do more codification.
Is it the design competence to do that?
Is it the design competence?
Yeah, what kind of competence that design is communication
Of toolkits? Well, we're at very early days, so we all feel very incompetent at the moment. And I can't tell you, you know, I mean, in other words, open source is the best codified now methodologies. And we're trying to find principles in the rest. It'll get easier, like everything else, as we work at it. But at the moment, I can't say. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.